Thank you very much for your invitation to join such an excellent panel. I mean, with so diverse opinions and so diverse presentations. And I have to start by thanking to Minister Bolos for the kind words and for the collaboration we are having together in many topics beside the interoperability topic that he already mentioned as well. He gave us a broad view about what's happening in terms of digital transformation in Romania, and I'm going to try to focus a bit on how we can close the digital divide from a governmental perspective. In general, when we are talking about digital transformation of a country, it's like sailing a boat, a ship. It's difficult to turn it suddenly because you are going to break it, and you need long-term transformation and continuity. And the latter one, it's not easy to achieve, especially in Romanian public sector. On the other hand, everybody knows that digital transformation process starts with the leader of the organization, whether we are talking about a CEO or a director or organization president, doesn't matter. It sticks to my mind what Harper said at the beginning, that it's like the future started in 2020. I said from the very beginning of the pandemic that we have to take advantage of maybe the biggest leaders' mindset shift when it comes through the digital transformation. Because the most difficult change is this: you can build connectivity, you can build IT infrastructure easier than having a massive and a global change of the behavior of a CIO, of a director, of a political leader, and so on. So the pandemic somehow made it at the global level, and this is kind of irreversible process that will stay with us forever. Just imagine how many millions we should have been spent to change this, and how difficult it is to achieve such a transformation. So at this moment, we take this major step, but how the leaders are going to really close the digital divide. And here we are going to the connectivity, because everybody's talking about the connectivity in general when speaking about digital divide, and unfortunately not too much about the digital skills. And I prove that this is a big mistake. And just let me give you an example talking about Romania. If we are talking about the connectivity, Romania is a leader in Europe, and it's on the first place when talking about the broadband prices. So we pay smallest prices in Europe to have access to the internet. We are also among the first places when talking about broadband coverage, no matter if it's a fixed broadband or mobile broadband. It's true that we still have some rural-urban divide, and there is a gap around 40% between the internet users from the urban areas and those from the rural areas, but this is not far away from what's happening in Europe, where the gap is around 10% as well. But we are doing efforts to do this even better, and in addition to laws like 5G or 5G law or electronic communication code that are mandatory in order to start the auction for 5G spectrum in Romania, me and my colleague, for example, from the Parliament, George Tuță, we proposed a law that passed, fortunately, called the Internet for Everyone, and which is accelerating the deployment of broadband infrastructure for all the areas in Romania, even the remote ones. So we are doing well. I think this is a position we are not going to have it forever if we are not continuing to invest to support the companies from Romania who are providing connectivity and so on. But what I want to say that we have a good situation from the connectivity perspective, we as a country. But we are doing badly when evaluating the digital economy and the digital society. Actually, unfortunately, we are the last in Europe. And this is not just because of digital public services, as many are tempted to say. This is in favor of Ministry of Digitalization and Innovation and Research, who had a lot of pressure to digitalize all the services just in one day. So this is not just about digital public services. It's more broad than that. And the main reason of the digital divide is the lack of digital skills. And I'll prove that. In Romania, there are around 12 millions of Facebook accounts, and this is more than half of the population. But on the same time, according to DESI, Digital Economy and Society Index, only 30% of the population, which means less than 6 million, have basic digital skills, and just 10% have above basic digital skills. So this proves that in our country, the main purpose of using internet is social media, and from other statistics as well, it's for video calls in general. So we are not using technology in an effective way, in a proper way, to increase the productivity in the companies or for education purpose. And speaking about education, this is happening as well all around the world, not just in Romania or in Europe and so on. So we need a good strategy in order to have skilled people, to reskill them or to upskill the people, and this at the level of whole population to close this digital gap. But in my opinion, the main threat is that it seems that we are not aware of the illusion that a new generation, it's not mastering the digital skills. So having the majority of the youngsters proficient in using social media applications like Facebook or like Instagram or TikTok doesn't mean that they have the proper digital skills for their futures, for the jobs of the futures. On the contrary, while some of the Western countries are investing a lot in skilling their people and skilling the youngsters from the early ages and having a proper curriculum in the school and using technology in all the aspects of their life and so on, it seems that we somehow are still considering that self-digital education is just going on and is going to work for the future generation. And this is extremely bad. So we need to pay attention, as I said, beside the connectivity, where we are doing well as a country, to the digital skills, because this proves that we are among the last in Europe just because there is a strong issue in our country regarding this. But anyway, I think we can somehow, as Mr. Boller said also, end in a very optimistic way, because we have a lot of potential and we have a big opportunity. I think it's a unique chance for our country to and I said this 2 years ago, I think Romania can be the fastest growing digital economy in Europe. And why that? Because we have a strong IT&C ecosystem in Romania. We have the specialists that are working for other countries, for other governments, and not so much for ours, and for other companies from other countries as well, and not so much from Romanian industry. On the other hand, we have the money now. We have the money on the table, both from national funds and European funds, recovery and resilience and the cohesion programs as well. And I'd like to close by saying that we have another thing. As I said at the beginning, we have something that is totally unexpected, a change in the mentality of the leaders in favor of an accelerated digital transformation in our country. And this is something that we achieved because of the pandemic. So that was my intervention. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.